Hello, people. My name is Detroit Miracle, and I am here to read one of my stories, which is called Lust and Peace in the Afterlife, which pertains to Muslim Islamic bliss. In the afterlife, we see a room full of robotic parts on an assembly line. It looks like arms, hands, legs, heads, and even a female rack that looks like a chest with breast. On the east side of the room, a figure sits in a chair watching a 60-inch TV screen. None can see the watcher's face yet. Now a man appears on the viewer screen. It's a new arrival. His name is Trobel, a Muslim Iraqi-born Arab American. His file says he and his wife died at the family jewelry store in Detroit, Michigan during their building collapse in a bad thunder windstorm. So Trobel, a 25-year-old, now enters through a transition portal. He is a chubby 250-pound, 5'8" guy that now wears a long blue robe. A beautiful blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman guide awaits him. Her name is Claire. She can see that Trobel is very attracted to her. She wears a tight silk, see-through, white one-piece bodysuit. Her beautiful body parts are clearly visible, where her pubic hairs and pointed nipples are showing. With her long blonde hair running down her back, she says, "Welcome, brother Trobel. I am Guide Claire. I am assigned to show you around." At this moment, Trobel seems a bit confused. Trobel says, "Where am I and who are you again?" Then Claire smiles. She says, "Brother Trobel, you are now home in your rewarded afterlife, where you will receive many blessings." Now Trobel says, "Do you mean this is Islamic heaven?" As they stand in this white room with a short desk with chair, Claire says, while she is looking at him with a pleasant smile, "Yes, it appears that your memory may be a bit hazy due to your spiritual travel, but it will come back to you." Now, at the same time, a beautiful 25-year-old woman enters through another transition portal. She is Mena, the wife of Trobel. She is also an Iraqi-born Arab American who married Trobel at the age of 22. Her father owns two gas stations in Detroit. Mena is now met by a male guide. He's black, bald-headed with a goatee beard and stands 6'2" and very muscular. He is wearing fitted white pants and a white t-shirt made of silk. His clothes attract her eyes because they are trimmed in sparkling diamonds. His name is Boran. He says, "Welcome, Lady Mena. I am Guide Boran. I was assigned to show you around." Mena's feelings are clear as she stands there wearing a long blue robe with a hair wrap cover. Mena is very attracted to her guide Boran. Her eyes can't help but to stare at his crotch area that is see-through with a lot of sparkling diamond colors that line it. Mena says, "Where am I?" And Boran says, why, this is your afterlife reward. Mena, you now have a choice. You can choose your independent pleasures or choose slavery as a mere concubine wife out of many. Mena says, "Is this Islamic heaven?" "Oh yes, I remember the storm, the roof caved in on us." Mena then says, "Oh my Lord, where's my husband? Did he die too?" Boren says yes. She then says, "Can I see him?" Boren says, "Yes, you can. The choice is yours, but first let me show you some of his rewards here." Boren then waves his hands in a power gesture, and then an orgy image appears on the white wall. It shows a black guy having sex on a huge round bed. The black guy is having sex with 30 different women. 15 are in bed with him, and 15 others are walking around the room naked, waiting their turn. Boren says this is what the men receive here because they all choose it instead of just one love. Mena's expression seems shocked. Boren says, "Do you want to see more?" He waves his hands again, and an Arab guy appears in bed with many women of other races. He has sex with white, black, Indian, Asian, and etc. The Arab guy looks a little like Trouble, but he isn't that chubby. Now the image disappears. Mena asks her guide, Boren, "Did Trouble, her husband, choose that?" And Boren says, "Not yet, but they all do." Mena says, "If this is true, that is what all men really want." Boren says, "Yes, many of them do." Boren says, "I'm here to grant you that same experience as them." Boren says, "If you want it as a sign of liberation, all you have to do is take that hair wrap off." Boren then waves his hand again, and a large viewer screen appears on the wall. He splits the screens into many, and it shows at least 10 Arab guys involved in orgies with many women of many races. Mena looks at Boren, her guide. He gets an erection, which tempts her even more. She can see that he has a large crotch package. Then Mena snatches her hair cover off as a sign of liberation. She exposes her beautiful black raven hair that is straight and pressed running down her back. Mena herself is very pretty and voluptuous, although she never completely brought out her freaky side to her husband. She seemed to hold back a lot. Boren says, "Good. I want you to meet another guide, a very dear friend. She will help you with your many male selections." Mena says, "Do you mean I get to pick men companions too?" Boren says, "Why, yes, but only the same amount as the men receive. You'll get to select 72 men for your own pleasure. But first I want to introduce you to Guide Gira." So a beautiful Japanese woman enters this white room showing a smile. Her hair is short, about neck length. Gira says, "Hi, Mena. I will help you with your choices and then get you settled in." So Gira reaches out and says, "Take my hand." So Mena takes her hand, and while walking with her, even while wearing her long blue robe, it is still very apparent that Mena has a very big butt. Her butt is a firm round 65 inches rounded, and her breasts are about 40. Through life, while out and about, Mena always wore long sweater jackets or coats to cover it up. When butt lover men or women would see her body, they couldn't help but notice it. Boren now shows a smile as they walk around. Gira hands Mena a transporter watch and says, "Put this on. It'll show you how to get around. But let me show you how it works first." Mena says as they walk down the white hallway, What does it do? So Gira says, well, it helps you travel around quicker, and it has a built-in map which shows many locations and attractions here. Both of them teleport as Gira now pushes a button on her watch while grabbing Mena's shoulder. They arrive in a viewer room which has computer readouts and viewer screens. Men's faces and bodies now appear at this same time. Trobel, with his guide, walks down a white hallway with more light at the end of the tunnel. Trobel and his guide, Claire, have discussions. He is wearing his watch given to him by Claire. She is showing him how to use it and its functions. Much like the computer phones on Earth, it is simple to operate. Trobel says, so the building accident killed me and my wife. Please, can I see her now? So Claire says, yes, in due time, you and her will be together again. But first, you have an important choice to make. Trobel says, what is that choice? Okay, folks, stay tuned for part 2 of this story.